one hand, Bollywood is coming up with amazing movies which is really taking us a few steps ahead in the game. But there are still mindless movies and some directors that are still taking us several steps backwards. And sadly, these movies are shown as the faces of Bollywood because of its excessive marketing and promotions. So here are 10 movies of 2020 that might suck. Now we're not saying all of these movies will surely be bad, but the directors, the writers and the actors of these movies have had a history of making bad films. So we are just basing our list on that. Now that we have that clear, let's get started. Number 10, Hacked. Vikram Bhatt over the past decade has continuously made bad movies with the likes of Ghost, 1921, Raz Reboot, Love Games, Mr. X, Creature 3D and the list just goes on and on. His latest venture named Hacked looks more or less the same as we see yet another creepy story about the dangers of social media and the lack of privacy that we have on the internet. It's shown through the eyes of a boy who's obsessed with an older girl. Starring Hina Khan and Rohan Shah in the main roles, the movie is set to release on the 7th of Feb alongside movies like Malang and Shikara. So there's little to no hope of Hacked being a success at the box office. And right now, it doesn't even look like it deserves our money. Number 9, Baghi 3. Now we know that Baghi is just a franchise that some people really like. Some people just like watching action without any context. But according to us, action looks and feels much better when it's matched with a good storyline, good acting and of course good direction. Now Baghi 3 is directed by Ahmed Khan, the same guy who directed Baghi 2. And he's the worst kind of a director. He's a choreographer who turned into a director. More on these two later on, but back to Ahmed Khan. So he has been in the industry for a long time and he has directed movies like Lakeer, which no one even knows about, and a bad remake of the film Snatch named Full and Final. All of this before he made Baghi 2. And not only that, Baghi 3 is also written by Farhad Samji, the writer of mindless movies like Houseful 4, Judwa 2, Dilwale, Golmaal Again, Houseful 3 and many more. Baghi 3 is just gonna be a mindless action movie where we see Tiger Shroff jump kicks guys in 5 different ways and we really don't wanna watch it. Number 8, Satyamev Jayate 2. Another movie that makes it on this list only because it has a very bad director. Yes, Milab Zaveri is the guy who directed Satyamev Jayate. And we know that Satyamev Jayate made a lot of money, but the movie just feels like a 80s action drama with lots of cheesy dialogues and a fucking revenge plot. As they say, this was a movie for the masses and it made over 100 crores. So guess what? We're getting another one directed by Milab Zaveri again. And the other films that this guy has directed is Jaane Kahan Se Aayi Hai, Mastizade and Mar Jawa. All of which are really shitty movies. I mean, अब क्या expectations रखेंगे हम सत्यमेव जयते 2 से? Come on. Number 7, Street Dancer 3D. When the first ABCD movie came out, it was a new experience for the Indian audience. And they were ready to watch a movie that was just based on dancing. But then ABCD 2 happened and it was just not the same. We get that these movies are targeted at a certain audience that love dancing and all the things related to it. But again, a movie can be based on dancing and also have a good story attached to it. In Street Dancer 3D, we see a dance competition between India and Pakistan. I mean, kya hai yaar? She. I mean, the story of the film again is written by Farhad Samji, the same guy we talked about in Baghi 3. And not to mention, it has been directed by the outstanding choreographer and a bad director Remo D'Souza, who has previously directed ABCD and ABCD 2 alongside movies like Faltu, The Flying Jet and of course Race 3. I mean, we all know it's going to be a bad movie, but it will still earn over 100 crores. Number 6, Rambo. Now this movie is very self-explanatory. I mean, who the fuck wants to watch a remake of the old Rambo movie with Tiger Shroff instead of Sylvester Stallone? Who the fuck wants to watch it? This movie just screams of rehashing old great movies to make some quick money instead of coming up with new ideas and new stories. And if you think that this movie won't be a complete rip-off of the original one, you are wrong. This movie is directed by Siddharth Anand, the same guy who made Bang Bang and completely copied the plot of Night and Day. Now there's still some hope that it might end up being a watchable action film if Siddharth Anand decides to write a completely original story like he did for War. But at this point, the film is supposedly going to be a copy and is going to release alongside movies like Satyamev Jayate 2, Sardar Udham Singh and Tufan. So it would be fair to assume that it won't make a lot of money, but you never know. The Indian audience is fucking crazy. Number 5, Happy Hardy and Heer. I mean Himesh Reshamya. That's it. That's all I gotta say. That's all we need to prove that this is going to be a bad film. Oh, is that not enough? Okay, how about not one but two Himesh Reshamiyas? Will that be enough to make this film shit? Yes. This guy is coming up with Happy, Hardy and Heer. Himesh Reshammiya is going to be playing a double role, so there's twice the torture. One of the roles will be of a happy-go-lucky Punjabi guy and the other one will be of a serious broody guy. And from the trailers, we can already see that Himesh Reshammiya still can't act. Not only that, the film is directed by someone named Rakesh Thakkar Raka, who has only directed short music videos, so there's literally no hope for this movie to be good in any way. But rest assured, this will not be the last time we see Himesh Reshammiya in a film. He will definitely make another one as always. Number 4, Bachchan Pandey. Now we first heard about Bachchan Pandey and we saw the first look of Akshay Kumar for the movie and we were actually kind of excited. But then we saw that the film is being written and directed by Farhad Samji. And we lost all hope. Because in the past, Farhad Samji along with his brother Sajid Samji has directed some wonderfully crappy movies like Entertainment, Houseful 3 and also Houseful 4. So we are not really expecting anything great from this movie. However, the film is supposedly a remake of a Tamil film Veeram, which could be the only thing that saves this movie, as Farhad Samji can hopefully just make a shot-to-shot remake of the original one with Akshay Kumar in the leading role. And that can make this movie somehow enjoyable to watch, even though Veeram itself is an okayish one-time watch at best. So let's see how Bachchan Pandey really does. Number 3, Radhe, Your Most Wanted Bhai. The name itself is so fucking ridiculous. I mean, come on. We know you're clearly targeting it towards Bhai Ke fans, but at least don't put it blatantly in the name of the movie that it's a typical Salman Khan movie with uneventful slow motion action scenes, an actress who's at least 25 years younger than Salman Khan, an item song and some cheesy dialogues. Releasing on Eid as always, Radhe is directed by another great dancer and a bad director, Prabhu Deva, whose latest collaboration with Salman Khan was Dabangg 3. And it was easily one of the worst movies of 2019 and also the worst movie of the Dabangg franchise, and frankly it didn't do good at the box office, and rightly so. Also, the other movies that Prabhu Deva directed before Dabangg 3 were Action Jackson and Sing Is Bling, and both of them were seriously shitty movies. So anyone other than Bhai Ke fans who are hoping that this film will be any kind of good is deluded, because Prabhu Deva is just not a good director. Number 2, Bhool Bhulaiya 2. Now we know that the hype of this movie is really good because it has Kartik Aaryan and Kiara Advani in it. But there are other factors in play here that might actually make this movie a bad one. First of all, making a standalone sequel of a 13-year-old movie sounds like nothing but a cash grab, trying to make some easy money with the Bhool Bhulaiya name. And then we look at the fact that this is again written by Farhad Samji, the guy who has been all over this list for writing and directing bad movies. Also, the first Bhool Bhulaiya was directed by Priyadarshan, but this sequel is directed by none other than Anees Bazmi. And the last good movie that this guy made was Welcome, which was 13 years ago. After which he has constantly made bad movies such as No Problem, Thank You, Ready, Welcome Back, Mubaraka and Pagalpanti. I mean, if the direction and the writing of this film is done by people who are not really good and they are just using the goodwill of the Bhool Bhulaiya name instead of using an original name for an original movie, then it's just not a good sign. Number 1, Coolie Number 1. This is what you get for making Judwa 2 a hit. I mean, seriously, Coolie Number 1 was a good comedy for its time. But there's literally no need to remake this film 25 years later. Mostly because the concept of this film is now an old one and it won't suit the new generation. But anyways, David Dhawan has now decided to just make remakes, as coming up with new ideas for comedy movies is just too much work. Plus, his recent movies like Main Tera Hero, Chashme Baddu, Rascals and Do Not Disturb did not get good response from the audience. Plus, it's hell to watch Varun Dhawan trying to mimic Govinda and failing in every David Dhawan movie. Simply put, just like Judwa 2, this is a needless remake that is made with less efforts in order to make some quick cash, instead of actually making something entertaining for the audience to watch. And hopefully this one will be a flop. Otherwise, we'll just continue with this trend of watching Varun Dhawan in old Bollywood comedies. These Dhawans are seriously ruining Bollywood. So this was our list for a top 10 movies we are not looking forward to in 2020. Anyways, do let us know in the comments below which movies you are looking forward to and which movies you are not looking forward to. As always, thank you so much for supporting us guys. Like and share this video and subscribe to Brainwash for more videos like these.